All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we were left off yesterday on number 55. So being a math teacher, I'm going to add 1, and that puts us at number 56. Number 56, we've got 4 plus the square root of negative 2a plus 8. And then all of that is set equal to a. Now, if we want to get a by itself, so eventually we're going to need to divide by negative 2. But before we divide by negative 2, we'll have to subtract 8 from both sides. But before we can do any of that, we have to get rid of the square root sign. But before we can get rid of the square root sign, we got to subtract 4 from both sides. So we're going to begin by subtracting 4 from both sides. Okay. You see how we're eating from the outside in? Like a Tootsie Pop. Negative 2a plus 8 equals a minus 4. Okay, how do I reverse a square root? I want to get rid of the square root. How do I get rid of the square root? This would be the inverse operation of square rooting something. Right? Inverse operation of addition is subtraction. Inverse operation of multiplication is division. What's the inverse operation of square root? You're alone on a spaceship. The spaceship is going to, the fate of the spaceship hinges on your ability to get rid of the square root. What do? Yesterday, the principal and I were talking about productive struggle. Okay. Where we were talking about whether or not we coddle too much, we give too much information, help too much. So I'm going to just see if I stand here long enough, if one of you will think up how I can get rid of the square root, and you'll feel like you accomplished something. Without telling you what to do, what if I told you that I could rewrite the square root of negative 2a plus 8 as open parentheses negative 2a plus 8 raised to the power of 1/2? Does that give you any idea about how we might get rid of the square root? Because it's the same thing as the square root. Distribute? No. What would I need to do to this parenthetical expression raised to this power to make that power go away? You would have to multiply the power. What would I have to multiply 1/2 by to make it go away? Just look at the fraction 1/2. Let's say I want this to become a 1. What do I need to multiply by? Say 2. Okay. So with this exponent here, what would I need to do using the power rule of exponents to actually be able to multiply that exponent by 2? You ready for help? Okay. In order to multiply that, you'd have to raise it to the power of 2. See, then the power rule of exponents would allow you to multiply the 2 by the 1/2. So back to our original question, you're on the spaceship, you've got to get rid of the square root. You have to square the square root. See? That will get rid of the square root. And that's good. It's good. I don't mind the radio silence there for a minute, even on YouTube, because chances are every freshman watching the video, even if they're not part of our class or part of our school, would struggle to know, if they'd never thought of it before, what do you do to get rid of a square root? You square it. Okay, well, now you know. So now all that we have on the left is negative 2a plus 8 equals. Now a minus 4 squared. Okay, a minus 4 squared is open parentheses a minus 4, close parentheses, open parentheses a minus 4. Anything you see squared must be written out as that thing times itself. Okay? Now we have to multiply these two binomials together, and we have to use FOIL. What does FOIL stand for? First, outer, inner, and last. What that means is first times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, last times last. So let's leave the left side alone and rewrite negative 2a plus 8 equals, now first times first, what's a times a?
A squared.
A squared, good. What is a times negative 4? So that's outer times outer, negative 4a. How about inner times inner, negative 4 times a? Same thing, right? Negative 4a. And then how about last times last, negative 4 times negative 4? Positive 16, right? Because it's a negative times a negative. Good. In binomial multiplication like this, these inner terms here, these middle terms, they're always going to have the same variable, okay? They'll always, you can combine these terms. So we're going to simplify by writing the left side again, negative 2a plus 8 equals a squared, and then negative 4a minus 4a is negative 8a, and then plus 16. Okay, so now we can resume the process of just moving everything over to the right. We want to get this left side to be 0. So now I'm going to add 2a to both sides. And I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. I'm combining these two steps here. 0 equals a squared. Now think about it. I've got negative a plus 2a. What's that? Negative 6a. Good job. What's 16 minus 8? Plus 8. Okay. So now we're down here. Now we have to factor this. So what I need to do is factor a squared minus 6a plus 8. So I need two numbers that add to equal negative 6 and multiply to equal positive 8. Can we think of two numbers that add to be negative 6 and multiply to be positive 8? Think about it for a minute. Again, back to productive struggle. Think about it for a minute. Who said that? Good job. Good job. Can I say your first name? Good job, Stacy. All right. I don't know if somebody yesterday said don't say my name. Okay. That was good. And for the listeners out there, she's been answering a lot of these questions. That's good. So -4 plus -2 equals -6. -4 times -2 equals +8. So our factors are a minus 4 times a minus 2, and that equals 0, okay? This expression, this quadratic expression, is equal to this. This is called the standard form, and this is called the factored form. Now our final steps is to set each one of these factors equal to 0 and solve for the variable. So a minus 4 equals 0, a minus 2 equals 0. Add 4 on both sides. A equals 4. Add 2 on both sides. A equals 2. So we have two solutions that are possible. We still have to check them, but we have 4 and 2, okay? So now what we need to do is erase. I need to erase all this. Just remember 4 and 2 are our possible solutions. We need to check them, because we could have a bad solution here, okay? So we're going to now check 4 and 2 just by plugging it in. So we're going to plug in the 4. So first I got 4 plus the square root of -2 times 4 is -8 plus 8 equals 4. I'm just substituting the 4 everywhere I see an A. -8 plus 8 is 0, so the square root of 0 is 0. Does 4 equal 4? Is that a true statement? Good, so that means 4 is a good solution. Now we're going to do the same thing with a 2. I got 4 plus square root of -2 times 2 is -4. -4 plus 8 is +4. The square root of 4 is 2. Okay, does 4 plus 2 equal 2? Does 6 equal 2? Okay, let's just make sure we did it right. -2 times 2 is -4. You know, 4 squared root 4, 2. 4 plus 2, yeah. It doesn't work, does it? No. So this was a bad solution. So the answer is 4. All right, now that was quite a bit of time to do one problem. But you did it, yeah? You ready for the big reveal before we close for the day? That problem comes from Algebra 2. Not only that, it comes from the second semester of Algebra 2. So you should be proud because you just did a problem that you won't do until, what is it, a year and a half from now? 2 years from now? Yeah. You're smart enough to do this work. It's not that hard. Good job. I'm proud of you.